A spectacular performance. Curry from half court.
Sometimes, something looks like it's been there a while. We are here, the 3 Points podcast. About to say the Golden State Warriors podcast, perhaps one day. The Golden State Warriors are 3-1 up in the series against the Houston Rockets. Last night was a classic, back-to-back classic games, other than game two where Jimmy Butler was injured. This is probably the best series in the league right now in the association. Perhaps a second is the Nuggets and Clippers, although maybe I'd give them
I
the
think
edge just because
Nuggets.
of
I
that
think
game
Nuggets.
winner.
I think Nuggets Clippers.
Yeah,
Yeah, has to
probably
take the
just because of the
crown.
game winner by Gordon, right? That was
That
an
was
insane game
insane.
winner. That's probably they're calling that. Aren't they saying that's like the first ever dunk buzzer beater or whatever?
Yeah,
No,
because I
bro.
mean, when you
Didn't
think about
freaking
it, how is that even possible?
DeAndre Ayton had one in against the Clippers in the bubble. That
All
Paul
right,
that Paul George run on the way to the conference finals. That was like a
Interesting.
wow.
I don't
Just
know.
shout out ball knowledge, West. Shout
All I'm
out,
saying is on
like,
Twitter. On Twitter, they're saying it was the first. So
cat meter run.
uh.
Let me double check myself.
All right, so double check it while I continue the opening monologue. It was a dogfight as per usual. Tempers flaring, people throwing tantrums, aka Dylan Brooks. Yet we came out with a calm, cool, collected dub from the veterans at the Golden State Warriors. It was a super duper good game. The score was 109 to 106, a win by 3 points. With a huge defensive shot stop by the defensive player of the year. I don't care. Evan Mobley's not the DPOY for me. Draymond freaking Green, one of the greatest defenders of all time, the most underrated player of all time. Put some respect on his name, please, for God's sake. I think I'm just gonna briefly give a breakdown of the points, and then I'm gonna leave it wide open for any of the two gents to get it. Brandon Podjemski, second most points scored for us last night, 26 points, 9 from 18 for the field, 6 for 11. Beautiful. Jimmy freaking buckets. Playoff Jimmy, 27 points, 12 of 12 from the free throw. Massive free throws, big free throws. That's what we needed. The worst free throw team in the league. Don't forget it. The worst free throw team in the league, the Golden State Warriors. We were phenomenal last night. We were 90% from the free throw last night. Beautiful, beautiful. 27, 6, 5 from Jimmy. Steph struggled a little bit, 17 points, but he freaking healed back-to-back games. 15 plus points. Beautiful. Draymond with amazing defensive stuff. Don't want to go to the specifics because I want to give it open floor to the gents. Let them start first. Last episode, previous one before that, I kind of gave my takes. I wanna be all encompassing and including. So go ahead, open floor. Anyone who wants to start, go ahead.
I guess I'll start off by saying that this kind of felt like how we predicted. This game felt like the epitome of how we thought this series was going to go. Like in how Steph kind of struggled, semi struggled, and then it was kind of more Jimmy who shined. That's kind of before the series started. That's kind of what we thought, or how we thought this was going to go. So that's just kind of interesting to me. Like Jimmy really kind of turned it up, especially like it's really surprising he turned up because he was coming off the injury. Like it's kind of 50-50 whether he's going to play or not. But ultimately, he came and he was the key to the game. Ultimately, like in that second half, he essentially like carried us to victory. It was pretty neck and neck, and their offense was actually not like humming, but it was they weren't really struggling as much as they were in game three to get offense. But because of Jimmy, because of Brandon Podziemski, Buddy, like taking timely shots, that's kind of the key to the game, I think. I'll hand off to Thomas or whoever.
yeah, I mean, you mentioned the odds. I think he was probably the single biggest reason that we won that game. I mean, for him to show up with that kind of shot making on the same night that Steph is not showing up, that's just huge. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. But another thing, shout out Draymond coming in with 5 fouls, playing the final 8 minutes of the game with 5 fouls on the brink of being ejected, but stayed in the game, played some incredible defense, and of course had one of the best plays of the entire playoffs so far with his stop on Şengün on that last shot, which by the way was a horrible play call. And Şengün looked scared at the moment, and I don't know why he put that up. I don't know why he didn't try to back him down further, but I mean that's just Draymond. That's what he does to guys. Throws them off their game, makes them look stupid makes them look worse than they are. So
I think you mentioned on the brink of ejection, some very silly calls last night. Look, am I going to sit here and say that those calls were all wrong or whatever, blah blah? No, I won't say that because sure, it's playoff ball, it's aggressive, it's passionate, but ultimately the NBA is the business, and I'm a consumer of the business. And as a fan, I could say that it was pretty annoying. That the constant stopping, the constant whistles, the constant replay reviews. As a fan, as a consumer of the product that the NBA is giving to us, I found it to be very annoying and it was just frustrating. Every freaking time it was a call, a whistle, a call. I was driving back from school, end of the semester, was presenting a semester long project. Shout out me. Late drive back, peak traffic. So what I do, 95.7, got the radio on, listening to the game on the radio. And the commentators, I'm forgetting their name. Shout out one of them. He's always there. I love him.
it's I
Um,
think maybe
is it?
no,
I
he
think
does
no,
he
no,
does the
no. I think
TV.
he does
Yeah,
a TV.
he
Yeah,
does
yeah, yeah, I was
TV.
gonna say. But
Something Papa.
regardless, they were talking
Greg
about
Papa.
how maybe I don't know. I want to say forgetting, but they were saying like one of the guys was saying like, can we get rid of replay reviews, please? And I was like, obviously I got it. It was a kind of like a boomer take, I guess, but I got where he
Such a
was coming
boomer
from.
take.
It is a boomer take. I understand that, but it was I get his point to some degree. It was just non-stop stopping. And look, I get it. You got to
It's a
call
very Jeff
calls, et
Van
cetera, et
Gundy
cetera.
coded take.
Yeah, they should remove that. You know what I mean? So
We don't
it's
need
one
that
of those
3-point
things.
line anymore. What's wrong with these jerseys? I don't like them. Too much colors.
It is one of those things. I agree with that. But regardless, it was still frustrating from my point of view. And the tech that Steph got. Look, Draymond Green, he has that nature, whatever. He'll get it. Steph pointed at him two. You have two fouls. What's the tech? What's the technical
That
foul?
was the tech apparently. You can't like
That's the
taunt. You
he's
can't
taunting. You
do
get
hand
what is going on?
gestures.
What is going on? I found that to be super stupid. This is first of all, if playoff ball is more intense, it gets amped up. Foul calls are a little bit harder to get by around, right? So then taunting, saying that you got two fouls after a rough foul, by the way, he was on the floor, just point to me like you got two fouls, bro. What's the issue? What's the issue? And then on top of that, Dylan Brooks was trying to snatch the ball from him. Draymond got involved because he's trying to do that. Come on now. Come on now. We've got to punish the instigator to assert it. Like, obviously, quote unquote, Steph instigated it by pointing at two, but who took it to a different level, a physical level? It was Brooks. So don't do that. Don't be silly. Jimmy Butler was letting you know. I'm not going to say it's a PG podcast. I mean, from Wes and myself, Tom's be cussing 24/7. But Butler was saying, you a bleep. Can we get a bleep actually
And a bum.
can we get a bleep in the post edits editor,
I
please?
We can't afford that.
Please. Okay, fine, I'll cover it, bro. 50 cents on me. We've been raking in the dough from our fans. Thank you for supporting the Patreon in the link below. We really appreciate it.
dude, we should
I'm
make a
just
Patreon.
yeah, what are we gonna post there?
Our own
I guess
highlights.
you know what
Tier
we could
one.
do? We could post like content with our face cam. Sorry, not face scans, face cam on. Ooh,
Face scan.
the face cam, bro. Oh my god, bro. I
My
stumbled on my
phone,
words a little
my
bit.
phone just face scanned me.
Oh my
Got
god.
it in
All
my
right.
phone.
Anyways, so getting back to here a little bit.
I mean, to add on to what you're saying, I think this series is like by far the most insane and hardest to officiate. Like, I want to cut them like some slack and like, there's like so many. This is like the chippiest and like there's so much bad blood just like kind of going both ways that it is really difficult to officiate because you don't want to, like you said, we're consumers of the product. We don't want to see anybody really ejected. Like even I don't want to see like obviously it would help us for an advantage to get like some of those Rockets ejected, but it's more fun.
Eject every single player on the Rockets if I could.
Yeah, exactly. They can forfeit for all I care.
But it's
Yeah,
more fun
yeah,
when
no, I
like
don't know.
when you have like when you're able to see Jimmy out like
Series
Jimmy
canceled.
entire team ejected. Ime Udoka suits up. No, but I think there's like a thin line that the refs gonna have to walk to like kind of ensure it doesn't like go too far, but also like having that chippiness and like that ultra competitiveness because I think like the Nuggets and Clippers series that's really entertaining because like every game is really close. But this game is really entertaining for like a different reason. Yes, because it's close, but also because both sides like hate each other so much that like every possession down the floor, it's like an altercation. Like I'm pretty sure wasn't it like the Jayshawn Tate play where Draymond got stripped? That was like immediately following the Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson
I
foul, I
mean,
want to
there
say.
was a stretch in the second quarter where, for probably 30 minutes of like real time, maybe 5 minutes of game time came off the clock, and
Exactly.
that is like that's bordering on like unwatchable. I think I mean, as a Warriors fan, like whatever, I'm still tuned in, but for like the quote unquote the casual fan or the neutral fan, like that's bordering on unwatchable, and you can't. The refs have to find a way to get that kind of stuff out of the I don't know somehow. You just can't let that happen.
Yeah, but I think Wes makes a really fair point. It is one of those situations where it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If you're not calling fouls, casuals are complaining. If you do call too many, casuals are complaining. So I do get what Wes is saying to some
And they
degree.
found a way to
I
not get anybody ejected. Like nobody got
True,
fouled
which is
out.
actually a big shout out. That is a huge shout out because I thought Draymond was for sure ejected when he did the leg thing. Like, although, like when you look at the replay, it's kind of one of those situations where, look, the Sabonis incident where he kind of stomped on his chest, that was kind of like, all right,
Justified, of
Draymond.
course.
Sorry.
Justified, of course.
Anyway, so that was kind of like, all right, like Draymond, what the hell are you doing? But this was kind of like, I'm sure there. I mean, Draymond's not 1,000% innocent, but it was to some degree like he was in an awkward position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I
And then he
think
pulled on his jersey.
I think what they got him for was the jersey tug. I don't
Yeah,
think I think the league
I
thing,
was like, oh my God, he's done.
the league
Like
thing
Yeah,
is whatever. I
it,
think it was
it's
the
huge
jersey
that they
tug they
didn't
got him
eject him.
for.
Okay, good. Okay, that's fair to be honest. So I was for sure I think he was getting ejected, and he was yelling and stuff too, and 5 fouls. I honestly thought it was a recipe for us to lose. I thought it was honestly over, especially when
He
Butler and
does not know how
Steph.
to de-escalate. That's the
That's
thing.
the
Like
issue.
he'll do something dumb, and then like his immediate reaction is to like get in the ref's face
Yeah,
and be like,
gosh.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
What are you doing? Why is that a foul? It's like, bro, you literally just like
yeah,
smack somebody.
Kicked him in the head and then pulled on his jersey.
yeah.
But I want to get like let's get back to like the schematics of it all. Like I guess I mean it's all tied together, but I think like somebody we got to shout out, Buddy Hield, I think got to touch on it. Like he had a fantastic game. Like not only offensively, which he had the game previous, but defensively he was also pretty solid. Like he like a lot of NBA guys, they all have the tools to be pretty good defenders, but it's about like how consistently are you gonna devote time to that time and energy to that end of the ball. And I mean he did. Also shout out on the other team, Amen Thompson had like his best game. Like he had a couple insane finishes that were like just defying. Like I was like, oh, it's Michael Jordan, but no, it's just Amen Thompson. Like his finishes, like where
All
he
right,
jumped
bro.
past.
All right, bro.
Dude,
Oh my God, let's just spit on Michael Jordan's face.
just like the athleticism wise, like not the skill at all, but like surely his athleticism is like he's one of the best athletes in the
He's
NBA. Like he
No,
jumped
I'm
past
giving you a
like two
tough time.
guys.
No, I'm giving you a tough time. I get what you're
he
saying.
he
Yeah, I'm
is probably one
just
of the best athletes, not just in the NBA, but to ever step foot in the NBA. He is that tier of athlete.
I mean
That's not me even exaggerating as a joke.
he's just
He
not
is
very
that tier of
skilled
athlete.
is the thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know, but you know what I will also say though, Alperen Sengun, although he had an awful last possession, the lights were too bright. He was having a pretty good game overall. 31 points, 10 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. So he did have a good game. Just that last possession, Draymond Green. Oh my God, it was just. It was. I thought we were gonna lose to be honest because we had missed two good looks on the other end. First by
Mhm.
Butler, then by Steph. First of all, beautiful how we have two closeout guys. It's just like a beautiful thing. Before it would just be Steph. Both missed it, unfortunately. And then on the other end, I was like, it's over. Draymond had 5 fouls. If I'm Sengun, you hit the nail on the head, Thomas. I'm backing Dre down. I'm going to try to get him foul me because he has 5 fouls. I mean, he won't be as aggressive because if he's swiping and stuff, you get called for a 6 foul. He's ejected. I mean, not ejected, out of the game. Then you get free throws. But he didn't. He kind of backed out, took a shot, and Draymond, beautiful, 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 beautiful. So that I want to give him a shout out though, and then another one. Van Vliet heard us from the last episode. He heard Thomas talking and chirping. This dude is kind of trash. He came out. He had a good game. Probably his best game of the series. 25 points. 8 for 12 from the three. 8 for 13 from field goal. He took. Uh, he made no. He only made threes the entire game.
I mean,
I mean,
that would kind of
I
make
mean,
sense.
watching the
It's kind
game,
of how
yeah,
it felt like.
that doesn't sound too insane.
Oh my God, yeah, his field goal was 8 for 13 and his 3 point was 8 for 12. So he took one non-three pointer. I mean, fair enough, I guess. If it works, it works, right? And then I have to give a negative shout out to to Green. Thomas was spot on game one. The streaky, he's just been so streaky, right? He had the one amazing game in game three, the game that Jimmy Butler happened to not be in, by the way. Uh,
Big surprise.
but sorry, game two is when Jimmy wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And
So
it was
and he
game two he
struggled
went off.
since. So game one, three, four, he struggled. So I don't know why you're chirping and talking so much trash when you're just not doing anything, right? Yeah, Draymond Green. I'm not gonna say what he said, but all I'm saying is he had his hand out, he had something, and he was painting something on his hands. So shout out Draymond for just being in all their heads. Beautiful stuff. Anything else you guys want to say? I think that kind of
I
covers it from
mean,
my end.
well, also you mentioned like Alperen Sengun. Yeah, he had a great game, but he was not having a great game when Draymond was in the game. He was having a great game when Draymond was sitting out because of his foul issues. When Sengun was going up against Trace and Post and Looney, he was having a great game. But against Draymond, not so much. And I think that's going to be one of the big things going forward. Is like I remember in the regular season, what the when we played the Rockets, they were really going out of their way to try to force switches where Şengün would switch off of Draymond and then get the ball in the post and force Draymond to kind of come over and double in the post.
Fan in the
But
background.
yeah, so
Yeah,
one of
sir.
our fans is making a live appearance. I had to pause and laugh at it. But if they can find a way to maybe do that, maybe that's how they'll get Şengün going in games 5 and 6 and in the future. But if they can't, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if we can figure out how to get Draymond matched up on him on the majority of possessions, which is what we should be doing, I think he won't be able to replicate that success going forward.
Another speaking of big men, I also wanted to talk about Trace. Trace got some minutes, which we've been requesting at the 3PP podcast. That is the 3PP podcast. That's cold. That's our nickname. That's gonna be on merch one day. 3PP. Uh,
We'll bleep
Trace.
that out.
No, why? That's what do you mean? I don't get it. That's our isn't that our
You don't want that to
acronym?
get out to the
Golden
press.
State Warriors, GSW, 3 points podcast, 3PP podcast. Don't see
It
anything
would
wrong
just
with
be the
it.
3P podcast. Just few second P is for podcast.
So that's why we're the 3PP, right? 3 points podcast. That's in our name.
You said 3PP podcast.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Okay, so 3PP.
Yeah.
And we
Okay,
also
yeah.
are three
Just
PPs, so it kind of makes
Gross.
sense.
uh,
Got him.
Nobody
That's a
nobody does it
classic.
like us.
No one does it like us. No one's got the high school humor like we got it while we're all about to graduate. Classic zingers here. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Speaking of big dudes, big men, pause. Trace, Trace finally got on the court. He did only see 4 minutes. So did Looney, though, but they were probably testing him out. He did really bad. Trace had 0 of 1 for field goal, no stats, -3. But Wes in the chat mentioned last night, like, oh, you guys got your wish. Trace played out there. He didn't do well. Guys, we saw Kaminga not play
I'm a
for
hater.
a while. We saw Kaminga not play for a while. He was very rusty. He looked really bad. Trace has, for the better part of the season, not gotten consistent minutes. So you could not expect him to get out there in playoff atmosphere, cutthroat atmosphere, brutal environment to just start grabbing boards, blocking people. Give him a chance. I really, really, really hope and pray. And I think, look, Kerr is a veteran. He's a professional. He's done this for a long time. Yeah, he has a lot of really weird calls and stuff. But I think that he will understand that I have to give Trace some more time just because he hasn't had a lot of exposure. Keep on sprinkling in 4, 5, 10 minutes, 4, 5, 7 minutes. Please. I want to see him play more. Because truly, the fact is that he was in there, Olunia was in there. It was almost like the same thing. So might as well give the younger guy more reps.
I mean, and then the other thing is because if they're going to be playing the Şengün Adams lineup, that's where Trace might come in handy because we might need two bigs out there. We might need him alongside Post, or need him alongside Looney, or need him alongside Draymond. But for some reason, Ime Udoka, despite the fact that Steven Adams has looked like borderline the second best player on the Rockets this series, Ime Udoka is not going to him all that much. So I don't know. Maybe that doesn't come into play. But if it does, I think that's when we could probably see Trace getting some more minutes.
I mean, my whole thing with the not playing Trace that much was not good. I mean, you guys were right about like him having more athleticism than Looney. But I mean, kind of like you highlighted, like he hasn't had much experience, and I don't think it's not only bad for him to just like throw him to the fire right now, but it's also like kind of detrimental to the team because if you don't want him like revving up during the playoffs during these like pivotal games when like if he plays bad and that costs us the game, then like okay, he got some experience, but like, okay, we lost a key playoff game, and that's X more minutes, more games for old guys that really should be minimized. We should be minimizing how much they have to play. I did also want to kind of random, but key play was Jimmy getting that offensive board at the end. Like he out rebounded, he just jumped in there, surrounded by a bunch
Defensive
of
rebound, right?
Rockets.
Defensive rebound.
Yeah, defensive rebound, surrounded by like Steven Adams was in there, and he just
And
rose above them all and got it. So that was
by the way,
another low
shout out
key
Looney because Looney was the guy boxing out Steven Adams on that play. He
veteran
kind of was
veteran
like
play.
falling down trying to box him out
Beautiful.
too. He was giving it his all. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what you got. I think you love it so much, man. It's he jumped up there. Beautiful, beautiful. I kind of completely forgot about that play. He springed up like he was just boom. He was up there.
and that had
Great
to hurt.
play.
That had to
Exactly.
hurt.
Like, and especially, and there was that one play though. I don't think Jimmy is 100% still because there was that one play where what's it called? Brooks, I think, stepped on him or whatever, and he was kind of grabbing his
Yeah, I was like, oh,
upper cheeks, and I was like, it's Jover. So please, Jimmy, take it easy now. We have a 3-1 lead. We could afford to lose a game. Honestly, like if he wants to rest next game, I say rest because we're in Houston. We can afford to lose that. We come back to the Bay. We can win in 6. I would rather that in the long run. Or if he's ready to thug it out, we win 5 and then we just have plenty of resting time. I just don't want him to play at like not full capacity and then injure himself and he's out for the season.
I feel like you just
I
like finish the series as soon as you possibly can, which could be 5 if we like Jimmy. I think he should like play if he feels like shit, then just sit out, but at least give it a shot. Because if we finish in 5, then that does give him extended. Because I'm expecting this the Minnesota Lakers series to go a little longer. Like I think LA is going to win a
why
game. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I'm just hoping that happens. But I think that is like the quickest way, the best way to give him more rest is by kind of reverse psychology, playing him to hopefully finish the series as soon as possible. Now
I
it could really
mean
suck if we play him, we lose, and then like okay, now he's even more less rested, and we have a game 6. But yeah, it's just my thoughts.
I mean for me, I think it just comes down to the fact that you can say whatever you want. Jimmy's not going to sit anyways. So why even talk about it? He's not that kind of guy.
Probably true.
Unless
Yeah.
unless the medical team is like you have to sit, in which case, again, why even talk about it? But if it's borderline, if he's like, well, I'm in pain and I probably shouldn't, but I could, he's gonna just play anyways. So
Which respect.
I
And
think he'll
honestly,
just be out there.
I feel like the only way it could get worse is if he has an exact same injury where he lands on his pelvis. Like it could
Oh,
be
then it's
painful
over.
when
If
he
he lands
plays.
on his butt again,
Yeah,
it's over.
yeah. Then he's cooked. But like it'd be kind of very unlucky for it to get like supremely worse by having the exact same injury. I think that's just like really unlikely. I think it's more likely he plays through pain and it's painful, but like he doesn't get much worse health wise. So I don't know. Don't think it's that bad if he plays game 5.
All
Predictions
right.
though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think let's just give our predictions for the next game. So I think if Butler plays, I think Warriors in 5. I'm not gonna do the gay. Ooh, can someone bleep that? Actually, I'm not gonna do the goofy. I'm not gonna do the goofy. Whatever Shannon Sharp. That is so corny. It is so corny. Oh my God, it's not even remotely
God.
funny, bro.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah,
It is
yeah,
not
thank you.
even
Okay.
remotely funny, bro. It's not even
Dude,
remotely
and
funny.
Lakers fans think it's like
Stop.
the
Stop.
the
They think it's like the
pinnacle of
funniest thing in the
humor.
world, bro. It's like it is like all over the internet. So all this like funk, dark funk music in the background. There's like LeBron taking a tough fader with like Sharp saying that in the background. Bro, just shut up. Get off my feed. It's not funny. It's not funny. Oh my God. So anyway, with that being said, Warriors in 5. That's my prediction. I think we go
Same.
out there. We got momentum. We are in their heads. I think another bad game by Jalen Green. I think a bad game by Van Vliet. He is not going to be 8 for 12 from the 3. I think Sengun struggles. Uh, no, I think Sengun will play well. Wesley is taking out all his flags, NBA flags for the fans at home.
I have a Yao Ming Rockets flag. So shout out.
Shout out, young man. So
Last time they were respectable.
that's my take. Thomas, take us home.
Yeah, they haven't. What have the Rockets shown that would suggest they can win a game when Jimmy Butler's on the court? They just haven't shown anything. Şengün had a great game, and Van Vliet also had a great game, and they still came up short. So I just can't imagine that that's going to happen again. So I'm saying Warriors in 5.
Same. And I
All
think
right.
we broke their spirit too. Oh yeah.
Yep. I think that you heard it from us. We're excited to see you guys next time. We've been consistent, so shout out. Can we get a round of applause for us, please? All right. 2 out of 3 hosts did it. Wesley did the reaction on Zoom, and then he followed it up with a late clap. Pause. So that's the episode. We're gonna see you guys next time.